Hello there. Welcome to Niima Outposts' first official podcast?
Vlog?
Vlog? I don't know, whatever you're calling it. However, it is the first time we are both here. My name is Glenn, this is Rich, and we are starting up something new for the channel, which is just going to be more of a concept to deal with all things X-Wing. You've seen before, we've uploaded already some bat reps. There is more coming. And this is what we're here to do, is give you more content. Rich, do you have anything you want to add?
Not really. It's all new. It's all exciting. Yeah, home of all things X-Wing, particularly 2.0. So, get into it.
Rock on. Well, the idea behind Niima Outposts, our group of friends, we love X-Wing and we love flying, which is good in the manner that we don't really stick to meta. X-Wing 1.0, a lot of things, started to get out of control because everyone was running harpoons and it just escalated. But our little community that we were rocking never really escalated to that until comp day. In the spirit of the game, I think the guys that we play with, that's what we're more about. And with X-Wing, and especially now more so, there is more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to fly a list. We still now, at this point in time, are just shy of the Wave 2 release in Australia, which means we've still got Resistance to come, we've still got the First Order to come, we've still got the Republic to come, and we've still got the Sis to come. So there is going to be a massive shake-up in the meta, as we see it, because we're really only playing with about 30% of the game. So, I personally think that's exciting times, just because it always just used to kill me seeing Palpatine and Kylo on the same field, on the same side, but that's been fixed, which I think is definitely an excellent step in the right direction for X-Wing.
And I think in terms of re-releasing things with conversion packs that had basically the same upgrades across every faction, I think it's brought everyone to come up to the same playing field as well, which is really, really nice. We'll talk about that a little bit later in terms of factions, but in not re-releasing with all the bells and whistles, everyone's kind of gone back to the basics of flying, which is really, really nice.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge thing. If you can outfly a list, you're already killing it. And it's why we're seeing a lot of people draw to your Jakku gun runners. There's a lot more tugboat going on because you get control of the board, you can push people's arcs out of the way. A lot of people now don't have access to free dice mods, as in where Glitterstim was taking charge and
Dengar.
Dengar. A lot of that's been toned down, brought back in line, which again, I think it just makes it for a more enjoyable tabletop experience. And it's also, I think it was your comment, it's bridging the gap between competitive play and casual play. There's now not so much of a distance between those two, which I'd have to agree. I think we were talking about that the other day.
Absolutely. I think in what we're seeing now, particularly in terms of casual play, we play casual on a Thursday night, between casual Thursday night play and top-end competition, is you could quite happily have a top-tier comp list flying in a casual setting, and it's still going to give everyone a really good run for their money, but I could rock up with whatever kind of junk I wanted to fly, and it would still be a decent kind of game. So I think that gap is certainly closing.
And Scum still have all the jank, so don't worry about that. It's the love child of FFG.
That's I think Imperial's had a massive buff as well. It's certainly I love the new faction idea, and I think we're going to talk about that in a second.
Yeah, and it's really good to see it. It's really fresh to see so many ships that were unflyable in 1.0 are now so usable in 2.0, and that's probably the next video we'll do, because there are so many pilots now that are just so much more appealing. And I also like what FFG's done is the direction of the factions. They're not carbon copies of each other. You can't build a list around sharing damage for Empire. I mean, you could. It's not going to work very well. But I like how they're playing each faction to have its own strengths. So.
Absolutely. And that I will hopefully continue to be strengthened as we move into First Order and Resistance as well. I think we're already seeing each different faction tends to have a flagship. I know Scum players are really, really happy with the new Slave 1.
Oh, it's good.
For example, you've got your X-Wings for Rebel. I think they have a real nice flavour to them, and they're really, really awesome. And I think for the Empire, just that mass flying TIE Swarms back, it's awesome. But just having Soong TFL and Vader as such great aces at Initiative 6 are a real identity for that faction.
Yeah. Rules tweaks. So for those that aren't, or for those that have carried over from first ed to second ed, which is where essentially Rich and I have both come from. How have you found most of the rule tweaks?
I've enjoyed them immensely. I think it has, it certainly made you fly a lot cleaner, fly a lot smoother. No longer can you just go, right, I'm going to attempt to barrel roll. Oh, I've messed up. I'm now going to grab a target lock. It's, if you mess up that barrel roll, obviously got failed actions. I think the changes to the barrel roll mechanics have made that choice of barrel roll far more important. You can't now just kind of slide and go, it's to those marks, and I think it's really, really good. I think changing up your systems phase has been excellent as well. Really, really enjoyed that in terms of bombs. I think Glenn was saying in a game we had not that long ago that the kind of poker, what would it be?
The bluff.
The bluff is back. You drop your bombs wherever you set your dials. So I love that aspect. I think all the rules have kind of headed back to making it good old-fashioned dogfighting. So, yeah.
I completely agree. I think the systems phase was much needed. I think it adds a lot more control of the game itself, where 1.0 stuff just got loose real quick. Where this condensing the pilot skill down from 1 to 6, I think it's wave 2 we'll see a 7, but it's not a natural 7, it's a 1 until he gets shot. Obviously now we've got the Han gunner that shoots at 7, but yeah, the ability to move at 7 is, I think, going to be a pretty good ability for now. It's just on a base tie, but yeah, not game breaking. Mining tie. So,
in terms of rule tweaks, though,
yeah, back on track.
Back on track. I think that. So we've talked about those barrel rolls. We've talked about systems.
Evades.
I
love how now it's only modifying a result. I think that is definitely, it stopped token stacking. It stopped that ability of having 3 natural green dice and then you're adding an extra 4th result. I think that is definitely an excellent step in the right direction.
I think even things like auto thrust has been taken out of the game and giving you those kind of naked dice mods as well. I think it was first ed, you'd see an Inquisitor fly up, grab a lock, grab an evade. You've got rid of the thrust, you've got a power if you need it, and it was just so infuriating with all those dice mods just stacking up. So now I think it's come back to, once again, good flying. You can only modify 1 dice. I don't know, it feels a far more balanced way to play the game.
Yeah, completely agree. Loving as well what they've brought in, more elements such as reserves. I'm yet to actually have a game with Maralo
Rival?
Yeah, Maralo Rival. So that ability to peel off the board and then come back on the same board edge, I think that's got some nifty little tricks up its sleeve.
In that, the Boba Scum card that just lets you deploy on a rock, I think the first game of 2.0 I played was against Glenn, and I had a quad jumper with Boba in it, and I went, this is fantastic. Deploy for rock, drop a couple of proxy mines, and then just fly off. It was fantastic.
Tracted half my Inferno squad. It was just not nice.
I think in terms of those rules changes, it certainly has changed how I play. Obviously, linked actions. Oh, that was the other thing, linked actions.
Just forgetting one of the hugest changes that they implemented.
I think it's been fantastic. There's not a ship with linked actions I've seen that I don't feel is overpowered. I love it on the Interceptors. It feels fluffy. It ties me to the character. I don't know if everybody's really, really happy that they can no longer boost barrel roll with a push them at Fen, but I still feel that it suits how Fen flies with his linked actions. I've been flying a lot of Star Vipers with their linked barrel rolls into focuses. Loving it. Really, really good.
Yeah, I think it's really brought B-Wings back into the game. The massive points adjustments, they had a pretty good drop in points, and the barrel roll linked to focus is awesome. X-Wings link is awesome. Just think overall the concept of linked actions is fantastic.
Absolutely.
And again, it's just how you fly really can change this game. And that's when the bluff comes back into it. You know, if you're rocking more ships that are lower pilot skill, can you guarantee you've got their ship in arc? Are they going to peel out? But yeah, it's definitely an excellent concept. Adding force, I think, is brilliant. And I know we know a lot of this. I know this information is nothing new because we've been playing for how long? 2 months now, I think. Yeah, so
we were there at midnight to pick up our conversion kits.
As I'm sure most of you were. So this rehashing over the rules discussion is now that it's solidified. There's a lot of, I guess, ambiguity about how things would change and what the rules would be. So just touching on overall, we're really happy with a lot of the changes. Hasn't really changed my playstyle. Back in 1.0, I was almost exclusively a Rebels player. And I just eat it. Every game, I just eat it because that's all Rebels did. And that hasn't really changed my playstyle at all. But yeah, no, I'm still loving 2.0 and I can't wait for Wave 2 and I'm even more excited for Wave 3.
I think for me, in terms of playstyle, it's, as Glenn said, a lot of the ships that were really, really off meta. So I was forever in 1.0 flying Forlom and Hawks and Bobber. That was my true love. 2.0 was announced, and all of those ships, and we'll talk about it later, were... So Forlom is now fantastic. The Hawk is now fantastic. So it hasn't really changed how I've flown. I guess the rules have probably tightened up how I fly, but it really hasn't changed what I'm flying or anything like that. Awesome.
Just trying to think what else with rules changes. Half points on ships.
Yes.
Thank God. That is definitely even playing field, chip at half. And now there was a lot of confusion with the half points when you print out your FFG squad from the web app when it works. It gives you a hull threshold, or it gives you a threshold. That is how much damage, essentially how much damage or shields removed you need to take before you've reached your threshold.
Yep.
So if you've got an 8-hull ship, your threshold is 4. If you've got a 5-hull ship, your threshold is 3. And that is as simple as it is. As soon as you have 3 damage, or you've lost a shield and got 2 cards, as soon as you've taken 3 hits, you've triggered the threshold, half points is engaged.
I remember TOing a first ed tournament, second ed had been announced, and a whole bunch of small boat ships were flying around in one hull, and the comment was, "I cannot wait for 2.0 because it would have totally changed how that game went. Instead of 3 ships on one hull flying away for 15 minutes, it would have totally changed how the game was played." So huge change. Watching games unfold where that look totally lost, and then by the end of the game, you go back to your points, you go back to your thresholds, and it's a far closer game than you would have initially thought.
Yeah, seeing that it's 15, 20 points into a game, it's definitely an excellent thing, and I think that's a strategy in itself now. You can hunt if they've dropped dash, he's going to be tanking around about 100, 110 points. So putting some solid damage into him, which I think he's 5 and 5 now, 5 hull, 5 shields. Doesn't take much to start sinking your teeth into that Mars bar before you got points on the board.
Yep.
So
I think in those point thresholds as well, you really tanky smaller media-based ships, there's still something to really lay firepower into. They've only got 1 agility. They've got a lot of hull, but if you can still get them down to that threshold, they're still so worth points.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoopies. Do you want to talk about First Order and Resistance coming out?
Yeah.
Thoughts? Happy? Not happy?
As I said, for First Ed, I was pretty much exclusively a Rebel Resistance player. Love my Poe, love Ray, love my A-Wings. So as far as Resistance goes, the RZA2s, I'm super keen for them. Yep. I just can't wait to shoot straight past, guns rear, blazing away, have people chase me around the board all turn. That's just going to be fantastic. But surprisingly, I'm more excited, I think, for the First Order. and I don't even know why. I just, when we changed over to second ed, I'd never flown Empire before, so I ran some pretty juicy swarms. And I'm really keen to sink my teeth into the first order swarms. Love the fluffy Snoke. Everyone hates his ability, but I reckon it's going to be hilarious. Just to have a pure dedicated hunter squad, pick a ship, find out exactly where it's going, and single it out. Like that forecast of knowledge is awesome.
And it feels incredibly fluffy to what we've seen as well.
Yeah. What about yourself?
So I've come from a Flying Order Scum. I've tinkered with some Rebel stuff. I'm really keen to see Poe cannon slots on T70s. Looks phenomenally fun. Poe's ability looks fantastic. But I guess I'm a bit like Glenn as well. The First Order, there's something that looks quite appealing about it. Lots of typos and TIE SS shooting around the board. I'm just excited for all of it. See what comes. Just excited.
Yeah, and I really am enjoying how every ship is getting its own flavour. There's not just an Empire version of a T70, or there's not just a Resistance version of a Defender. So I really like how bringing new ships to the game, people instantly compare them. I think I was watching a couple of reviews on the Maul Scimitar coming out for CIS, and everyone's automatically trying to slot this large ship because it's got one green. It should be fast. I don't think it's comparable because that particular ship's going to have its own job. And you've got to remember, it's going to be cloaking. So unless you really wanted a 4 green dice large ship flying, fanging around the board, it just that doesn't make sense to me. But as I said, we don't yet have all the information on CIS. We don't yet have all the information on Republic. I don't really like to speculate. Don't get me wrong, I'm wrong about a lot of things, but I think just investing time in wish lists and hopes and dreams is not really something to bank on. So,
back to First Order though. Super keen to see what they do with the silencer. Kylo looks like he's going to be really strong. Just changing up the order of when he applies.
Hatred.
Kind of changing up when Show the Dark Side comes out in terms of that kind of.
Yeah, exactly right. And how much it will have changed from the first ed. Has there been a review on 2.0 Show the Dark Side?
I think there's been some leaks, but nothing kind of in concrete. So
yeah, so it'd be good to see that. These new Force abilities, I think we've seen Hatred. That on Vader is just going to really supercharge him. I know he's been dancing across the board with supernatural reflexes, but just opening up those Force powers. Some key words I picked up when I first read the rulebook. They brought in these new arcs. So you've got your front arc, your rear arc, and then your left and rights. And we've seen, if you've clued onto a few of the Republic reviews, just the key wording using those arcs. I know the Arc 170s get buffs when they've got friendly ships left and right.
Just fly them as a big gun line.
And I love that. I absolutely love that. I think it's just so juicy. But yeah, we're in for exciting times. We're in for a whole new shake-up, because as soon as First Order and Resistance release, you take a list that's been performing really well, might not fare so well.
Absolutely.
Resistance going to add a lot of shake-ups.
I look forward to seeing post-Resistance, post-First Order. I'd like to kind of see what lists are coming out internationally and what lists start doing well competitively. I know we'll probably have a lot of guys flying some really kind of interesting combinations initially. But I really want to see how that shakes up the competitive scene as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And it'll be, even as far as local store comps, we do one at our local once a month.
Yep.
And it'll be interesting to see, one, how many people do jump factions, and two, if they're bringing the same lists that got them higher placements previously, where they're going to sit once First Order and Resistance are released.
Absolutely. I think from what we've seen in terms of the previews and leaks, about lack of a better word, the Resistance is probably going to be quite ace focused. I've got no dramas with that. I think it kind of is quite fluffy and ties in.
Apart from having 110 point Poe flying around the board.
And we'll see what the First Order brings to the table as well. So awesome. We're thinking some batreps in the future with First Order and Resistance.
Yeah, well and truly. I'm not too sure in the channel if we're going to do kit content releases, because there is There's a stack of them already online.
Yep.
A lot of people have already got the kits.
Yep.
I'm just a dude in a shed. I don't really think that I'm investing in that because you can get it somewhere else. But definitely straight up, probably midweek of December, yep. We will be doing some bat reps, putting them up on YouTube. Yep. So make sure you do like and subscribe so you can gain that content. Our bat reps will also be streaming straight to Twitch. Yep. Last couple of months, just as an overall general view of the channel, we've been experimenting with streaming and just finding a way that's, I guess, the least time intensive for us, yep. and the easiest to produce for you. Yep. So yeah, find us on Twitch. We'll hopefully be streaming every second fortnight, yep. and then that'll be edited and uploaded on YouTube. So don't stress if you can't find or log on to the Twitch when we do play, because
it'll be up on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll get it there for you. So
absolutely.
But yeah, so we're super keen to kick this channel into overdrive. Hopefully we can be doing video releases weekly, and we're looking at probably fortnightly. So bat rep week 1, this style of thing week 2. If there's anything that you particularly want to see, please leave us a comment, give us a like and a subscribe. If you want to comment on my really poor lighting bouncing off my super shiny head, just throw it in there. As I said, we're just two dudes. This is our passion. We love doing this, and we just want to further grow our community and yep. be a part of the X-Wing community, which overall I've found is pretty wicked.
Cool.
Thank you very much for watching. As I said, stay tuned for more content. Pretty exciting times for us.
Absolutely.
Wave 2 is dropping next week. 13th for us here in the land of Oz. So yeah, drop in the comments of what you're keen to try, what you're eager to see. And yeah, we'll get back to you from there. Thank you very much from Niima Outpost. Out.